Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to Bitch Sesh.
I'm Danielle Schneider.
I'm Casey Wilson.
Just in case you forget, jogging your memory.
It's us, guys. I'm so sad, Danielle, because I'm getting, as I told you, a very minor procedure done tomorrow.
Yes, you are.
And I'm going under anesthesia, and I can't drink after 8 p.m.
I know, so you're not your full self tonight.
Oh, God, no.
You're too sober for
I'm running on
good.
empty, and I don't like it.
I'm not going to lie. I like you a little pumped up with stuff.
Thank you.
Not that you're not lovely on your own.
No, I'm not.
But sometimes you say things that you wouldn't normally say, and I like to get that, like, wild Casey.
I know. Now we have nothing but an
punches.
unsweetened Starbucks iced tea.
We also had some of those Dove dark chocolates from your fridge.
Oh, yeah. I let myself loose on those.
I had like 4 of them. You have none left, Pia.
I know. And I've been really getting into a Carb Smart bar.
What? Please do tell.
Okay, it's a Breyer's Carb Smart bar, and it's a thick bar. You know, like those Skinny Cow stuff?
I was just going to say I've done Skinny Cow myself.
And they're very, like, cardboardy.
I get diarrhea from them.
Sure.
A little something about me, guys.
I've indulged in some Arctic Zero, which is just literally a shitstorm. It's like 2 calories and just you shit your brains out for days.
And that's how you keep the weight
the
off
romance
and you-
alive?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I find that, any of those, when you just shit yourself, that's really how you're at your best. And then you go into a strawberry, as we said last week.
Okay, one
Part of your
time.
outfit.
Oh, God. I don't know if she's going to want me to tell the story, but...
Well, you don't have to say names. You don't have to name
I want
names.
to. Okay, a dear friend of mine and I were
Friend
both...
of the show?
friend of the show. We're both in New York City filming a movie together. And we realized while we were texting frantically, not a joke, we were both on opposite walls, the same wall. We were sharing a wall on different sides of it, getting colonics. It was a beautiful day.
That's real friendship. Did you get a friendship colonic?
But we didn't know. We didn't plan it.
That's amazing. That's how good friends you are, that you were having sort of like twin thoughts.
I know, and we would both just say to each other when we would go get colonics, no one wants to hear this talk.
I do.
And I don't like the scatological normally, and I beg
love
everyone
it.
to know that when people say it makes me feel sick, and it makes me not like them as a person when they make scatological comments or humor. But I'm doing it now. And I would just say to my friend, I was like, I gotta go get my shit taken out. And it was just like on the calendar.
I've never had that done, so I'd be curious to see what comes forth.
There's a lot comes forth from the mouth of the person giving the colonic and in the way of their life story.
Oh, no.
Yes. And I heard a long story. And bless her, she was a very, very sweet woman. But a girl who was in a relationship with John Cusack was also giving me a colonic.
Operator? I heard a story where he shit his pants, but that's another thing.
Wow. Wow.
Like left a shit stain on this. Again, this is
Did he leave a
just-
shit stain on the colonic bed?
I just heard in underwear, but again, this is unsubstantiated, and I might be making this up.
I love it, and I think you're an authority on it. And I want to hear more. All I'll say is that she was in a relationship, and she kept being like, it's been like 5 years, and we've been sleeping together only at night from the hours of like midnight to 4 a.m., and I'd have to take cabs to his place, and he makes me leave immediately after. And she's like, but I think it's got legs. I was like, oh, this poor girl. And then I was like, whoop, release me. No, okay. That's enough. And it's disgusting.
And all day she's taking shit out of people. She's taking shit from John Cusack at night. His, like metaphorical shit, and then literal
cleaning up
shit.
after his shit all over his underwear.
Ugh, God, that poor girl. I hope she's doing okay.
But I love Joan Cusack. Strange segue.
Joan Cusack. I'm a fan as well.
And I don't want to put her in the same category.
I will say that colonics do make me think of our Real Housewives lady, because they love a colonic.
Oh, they sure do.
We've been privy to Sonja getting colonics, and Phaedra loves a colonic.
She sure does.
Can't stop talking about those things.
Speaking of Phaedra, Danielle and I have a new segment that we'd like to, 2 new segments we'd like to unearth today.
Yes.
And I'm sure everyone's just feeling so tender and warm from our last discussion that they're ready to just suddenly shift topics. But we have a new segment called
In Defense of.
Yes. And so we're going to defend a housewife, and we're going to defend 2 of them now.
Yes, 2 that maybe we haven't said nice things about in the past, or maybe weren't our favorite, but suddenly we're excited about them.
And
we like
leaping to their defense.
Yes. And so,
this
Casey?
week, they're both from Atlanta.
Yes.
You want to start?
Sure, I'd love to. In the past, I thought Portia was sort of a fly-by-night dum-dum.
Why would you ever think that?
I know. But I didn't appreciate her, especially when she was at the beginning when she was with Cordell and sort of this like put together princess and a prude.
And what of her comments concerning
the Underground Railroad, where she thought it was a genuine railroad, and she's like, "Where's the entrance?" I was like,
she was like, woo, woo.
She had
all
on,
aboard.
Her conductor hat and was like, where do I find this railroad? How do I get on?
She was ripping tickets.
Yes. And that wasn't her brightest
Considering
moment.
her family's heritage is steeped
in sort of the civil rights movement. Her grandfather was like a leader of it.
That was tough.
Atlanta. And so that was a tough moment for her. And I used to laugh at her and be like, she's so stupid. But she has risen from the ashes like a phoenix.
She's blossomed.
She has. Without Cordell, like kind of hanging around her neck anymore, she has become this fun, funny, silly, sort of like, you know what she is now to me? Like, yes, she's still dumb as dirt, but in a way that I appreciate. She's sort of like a Phoebe from Friends, if you will, where there's sort of like a method behind her madness a little bit, where it's like she's dumb because she's uneducated, but I don't think she's a total dummy.
And you're not holding that against her.
No, I'm not. Some people don't want an education, and that's for them.
I love the scene when her stylist came over to dress her for Jamaica, and she was like, these clothes are giving me life.
I know.
And the clothes like reeled in on a rack of just like mesh baubles and just see-through garments.
And all her ass and boobs and everything out. And she is desperate to be loved right now. She just wants to like find a man and get married and party, like all of those things. And I loved her quote. This is another dumb moment, but I sort of love, which is, it's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year. And I love that she doesn't know how many days are in a year. Like,
maybe it's like she loves life so much that the days just go by. I don't know.
Bye. Also, I love that little award ceremony she gave for that boyfriend that ended up going Duke. Remember the football player, the Buffalo Bill, where she's like, she invited him over. He did not know her family was going to be there to be introduced, and a party for him where she had cheerleaders there, and then gave him an award, a trophy, said, "I'm going to make you my trophy man," and like got down on a knee. It was like a proposal, and he was just like, I got to get out of here. He literally said that to a friend. I got to get out of here. And just the sadness and the desperation. But she's also fun. She's full of life.
I know. And when she's doing those sad Skype videos with that other boyfriend.
The guy from Miami that she met while on the show. That was a weird.
And he's always like, why are you so dressed up? And she's like, oh. And it's just so sad. And then she's always tilting down the camera to her cleavage.
No, I feel like she is having like masturbatory like sessions with him all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Like there's a lot of
absolutely. I think they have a very similar relationship to the John Cusack and the woman doing the colon therapy, they call it.
But do you also know that every time she talks about that boyfriend, they show that footage of him slipping across the Bermuda shelf?
Yeah. Baja Shelf?
The Baja Shelf.
So wait, are you saying two people have slipped on a Baja Shelf in the Real Housewives franchise? This is separate from Ken?
This is separate from Ken. When they were all in Miami together, when she met him,
a Baja Shelf will
dangerous.
Just pop up.
FYI.
Because you get in the pool and you think, well, I'm going down, and at least it might be only 3 feet, but no, it's an inch.
So watch yourself. When you're in a pool, guys, beware. A Baja Shelf could be
It could crop up, and you have to be careful because people don't just slip on them, they bounce off them.
Yeah, he didn't bounce, he slipped mostly,
he
but
slip.
It would look dangerous, and they do that footage every single time.
I feel like the editors have a folder that just says Baja Shelf, and it's just like, oh, let's roll it.
And it's my favorite. So that's who I'm in defense of as Miss Portia Williams.
I love it. And I am in defense of Miss Phaedra Parks.
Speak, Casey. Speak to it.
I'm always in defense of her because she's my favorite housewife, but I will say she's just so funny. And I feel like I didn't pull up quite a lot of her best quotes about her mortuary business, but I would ask that if fans know them to please send them.
Yes.
But everything she says is delightful. She has 1 million jobs. She's such a delight, and yet I find her to be a complex character. And I find her to be parts Scarlett O'Hara, parts Wendy Williams, and she's kind of every woman to me.
She is, and she has a sad story of her husband going off to prison and trying to be a strong mom.
Well, here's a quote about that. Apollo went to prison for racketeering, which is really a white-collar crime. He's no different from Martha Stewart. She spins words.
She does.
I find her so funny. Again, I know I said this last week, but Portia and Phaedra are the Sonia and Ramona on vacation.
On this Miami vacation, they have been having a blast. I'm having a blast with them.
Like the camera trained on them while they were sitting on those 2 sad like recliners on the beach, just like talking about the men they were going to have sex with. It was amazing.
Oh, and when Phaedra was making those sounds like talking about some man she was going to sit on his dick, it was so strange.
I know Phaedra was like, I'm going to get on. It was
so horny.
Really horny. And she's okay with it. But I also think she's a good mom. But then she's also like very proper Southern lady. When you come, she's like a sketch performer. Like she performs her characters full out. Like when Candy's mom came and saw her at her office and she was like, what can I do for you today? She's just like a madam. She's everything.
She does. She sort of gets into character when she's in lawyer mode or when she is in funeral director mode. She does. It's like she puts on her sketch. It's like she has 10 good minutes for her SNL reel.
And she always has a twist on a classic phrase, such as, everybody knows an opinion is like an anus. We all have one. I was like, I guess I've heard that to be asshole, but I prefer anus. Yes. Which I called anus, but
I thought she said anus,
confusing.
which I enjoyed.
But that was my twist on it. So it's like you've got the real phrase, you've got Phaedra, and then you've got my
Casey's
twist.
Phaedra.
You're welcome, guys. I love Phaedra Parks. I live and die for her, and I'd love to hear every single thing about what's happening with her mortuary business. I'm sure it's had to be sold. She always had some quote about like, people keep dying and I'll keep burying them.
So she went to mortuary school, so she was serious about it. She had to take tests. She had to go to like South Carolina.
She had to learn the makeup. I know that.
So it's not like she wasn't serious about it.
Well,
I saw her take a test.
And the last quick news segment we're going to do very quickly before we get into talking about the episode, and we introduce our amazing guest who is sitting here, and she's been kind of on a gag order.
I know. She's afraid to speak.
I know.
We basically said, don't you open your pretty little mouth.
Let's introduce her now so she can weigh in.
Yes, please. This is a guest I'm very excited about. She is a Real Housewife super fan. I've been friends with her for a while, but I follow her Twitter feed, and it always makes me laugh. This is Leslie Grossman.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I'm a big fan of Bitch Sesh.
God bless you.
And I feel like it was invented just for me, maybe. Maybe it was just a gift from me.
You guys, you do have to follow Leslie at Miss Leslie G on Twitter.
She's so funny, and her tweets about the Real Housewives kill me.
I need to speak to the people, and I don't care if no one's reading them. I just tweet like no one's reading.
And we podcast like no one's listening.
Yes, we do podcasts as if no one is listening.
So you're in great company. We don't know if people are listening, although occasionally I'll get like a fun friend from high school who's like, I'm listening.
My sister listens, that I know.
A woman came up to me in Nordstrom's in the bra section this week and said she was listening. I've never been more touched.
That's wonderful. I just want to say quickly.
I feel like you're in a bra section a lot recently.
Don't worry about it.
Quickly
I
about
hurt my back. This was a return to the scene.
Am I allowed to just say about Phaedra quickly?
Please. Sure.
Don't ever forget that Phaedra lied about how pregnant she was.
Yes.
And that came up several times. And she's like, I'm about 4 months. And then she was like fully to term. I love that about her. And she just never, by the way, never addressed it again.
She doesn't need to. No, she does not need to.
No, and she doesn't feel she needs to show anybody explanation.
She owes no one a thing.
And I need to tell strangers in the street, I'm like, I got this shirt for $5. Like, I can't not explain to everybody what is happening in my life. And she doesn't give a shit. I need to.
Remember the photo shoot with Apollo when she was pregnant and she ate those pickles? Remember, that was terrible.
Yeah. Those were good times. I miss those days.
Yeah, me too. It's simpler days. Okay.
Simpler times.
Simpler times.
Mm-hmm. Well, this new segment that we will all take part in is really a plea. It's a plea to Vicki.
To Miss Vicki Gumbelson.
The OCOG.
Yes.
Exactly.
The queen of the Real Housewives.
There's been a new piece of news concerning Vicki's love life as she's moved on from the charlatan.
From Brooks, as you call him, an old-timey peddler.
Yes.
He really was, with the accent and everything. Yeah.
And I was like, skills not my own. Like, he was like...
I was attracted to Brooks at points.
No, you weren't.
I was. Not attracted to him, but in that world, it's one of those things sometimes where you're in a deprivation chamber and you're like, well, I guess Brooks. I'll have sex with Brooks.
Well, she has a new boyfriend, and she's taken some shots with him, I believe, at Ándale's. And so, it's serious if she takes him to Ándale.
She loves Ándale. That's her secret special place.
She's whooping it up there with him.
But news has come out. Radar Online.
They are the Housewives Authority, by the way.
I know.
They get all the
everything.
Well, the Daily Mail is keeping pace.
Okay.
I'm just
That's
saying.
a British paper, right?
Guys, I've always been so sophisticated.
Always been continental.
Yes.
But this was the headline of another paper of record.
And I'd like to ask everyone to brace themselves for this headline.
The headline goes, sorry.
Line goes.
Line goes. Vicki Gumbelson's new man, once accused of pushing burning woman in a bonfire.
So wait, was she burning?
No, pushing, burning woman in bonfire.
Pushing and burning?
Yes.
This is as confusing as I
So she was already on fire, and then he pushed
Again,
her
right
back.
around
into
like,
the-
it's not the New York Times. They
look
don't
at that.
necessarily spell check or sentence check.
It's not been
Danielle, you did not read the first word of this.
Oh, sorry.
Exclusive. It says cold-blooded. Vicki Gumbelson's new man once accused of pushing burning woman in bonfire.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot the
Wow.
cold-blooded exclusive. As the article reads, the incident stems from a 1999 altercation he had with a woman who claims she was trying to stop him from going after his then wife, Sarah Lossie. According to court documents, Jack and his wife Sarah allegedly were at a bonfire when he threw his drink and pushed her in the back. That's when the accuser, Tammy Jordan, got in the middle of the ruckus and later claimed Jack pushed her, causing her to fall into the fire and suffer first and second degree burns.
It's not funny that someone
Guys.
was burned, but it makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
Okay, then I'll test you on this one, Leslie.
Okay.
Was it funny, yes or no, when Tori Spelling tripped
yes.
and burned her hand on a hibachi
hibachi,
grill at Benihana?
It was the funniest thing. It was real. That was a gift.
That was a gift from the
wonderful-
gods.
Yeah.
This is a bonfire. This isn't just your hands. It
No,
was
this
your whole
is
body.
scary.
This is scary. But Vicki, I don't understand I know you have terrible self-esteem, and that is evident in every thing you say, everything you do, except for in your business life. I think you are.
Aren't there
confident in
single guys
that.
at Kodo Insurance? I don't understand.
guess
There's no
not.
one
Just
coming
her
through.
son. But I think he's an upgrade. Although, you like her son, right?
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
do too.
The only reason I like her son is because he has a terrible personality, but he's just such a great foil to her when she's trying to explain things to him. And he's like, you're out of your mind and insane and a terrible, terrible woman.
Yes.
And I love him for that.
And she's like, oh, hon, you set me right. But I will say, Vicki, maybe don't date for a while. Maybe or
That's
better
not
yet,
happening.
Google search any man that you like, because if you like him, run the other way. I think your instincts are terrible.
Guys, I've said it from the beginning, though. She cannot do any better. So you're wanting something that just can't happen.
She can't do better than a criminal.
I don't
A
think
man
so.
who pushes other people into a burning, raging bonfire.
Well, Danielle reached out to a dear friend of the program, June Diane Rayfield,
Who loves Vicki and feels strongly about her.
yes, as you may recall, she defended Vicki wholeheartedly.
On the show. And I sent her the link to that article because I thought she should know what Vicki has in store. And these were June Diane's words to us, or to Vicki really. Vicki, please go back to Dawn and beg forgiveness.
Bam.
And she's right.
She's
Do you
so
think Dawn
right.
will take her back, though? Remember
God,
at the
no.
reunion, she said, I just wish I could go back and be with Dawn, and I had never left. And do you think Dawn is just like, the ship has sailed, it's over? Do you think he's with someone else? He was a
could
good
get
man.
better.
He was a great man. I think Don might be doing that hilarious bit where he would fall asleep at the table when people were talking and boring them with someone else.
Oh, God. And
Yeah.
Vicki is still trying to do it, but it doesn't have the same magic. She does that sleeping thing, too. But
I thought Don was a great guy.
Me too.
Especially, remember when the show came out, and if anyone remembers this, and Gina Kehoe was dating that like disturbed baseball player who
Yes.
just like
Yes.
stayed in
Yes.
the closet, like
Yes.
in the attic, and like
Yes.
never came
Terrifying.
down.
Yes.
He
Her
was
husband,
terrifying.
Mike?
Yes.
He
What's
was
his name,
very
Mike?
sick.
Yeah,
He
you're
died.
right.
R.I.P. P.S.
Oh,
I believe.
no.
Oh, is he dead?
I believe
no.
he died.
You know what? It's for the best.
Or maybe I lied.
Danielle,
You know what? He's
how
still.
could you tell me this on air and then tell me it's not true?
I think he might be alive.
Okay.
Okay, well, we're gonna hold that.
I know our listeners get mad at me because I put out a lot of bad information and I don't know people's names.
It's the worst information yet to simply say someone's dead. No, they're not. Yes, they may be.
But if our viewers could clarify, I don't want to Google this. So could our listeners, if they could clarify?
Karen's Googling.
Oh, Karen, thank
and
you,
she looks
Karen.
upset.
Does she? Is he dead?
I think he may have passed.
He wasn't well.
He was not a good man. He
No.
was mentally abusive, and
Her oldest son was garbage.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Though I was very attracted to him.
Oh,
dear.
he was gorgeous, but he would just like take a baseball and like throw it at someone's head, like an
And
old
his-
woman's
and
head.
His mother, he was like, "Shut the fuck up, mom."
Oh, he was the worst. But I like that
worst.
daughter. She was adorable.
She's
Guys,
just had a child recently.
Controversial, didn't care for the daughter. I thought she was so full of herself, and
went
everyone
to-
here shocked.
She went to a good college. He's alive.
He's alive, you guys.
That's the best end to this story.
He's alive.
So I took you guys on a real roller coaster, and I apologize for that. Someone else's husband died. It was that other woman, but it doesn't matter.
So someone is dead that
Someone
you
is
don't
dead.
know.
Which woman? Another housewife?
Yeah, it's like one of the originals. He died like the third season.
Not who was the woman that worked for Vicki and Kodo?
Not her, not Lori.
Oh,
Not Lori.
Lori.
Okay,
Not
because I was
Lori.
gonna
There was one that
say.
had very long hair and had skin cancer. I remember that. That was first season, you guys. I'm throwing it way back. I think
Yeah.
this is
I
hard
know
to even remember.
exactly who you're talking about, and she moved.
Yeah,
to
because
deal
of the
with her.
son.
Yeah, the son.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I know all of it. I remember all of it, you
Wow.
guys.
as
Joe
we
and
should. Like they're
Slade.
like our own memories.
I
guys.
miss Slade.
I know that
Did
we
you-
all experienced together, and I just met you tonight, Leslie. But
Yeah.
I feel like we were all there in that small, cramped office with
Yeah.
Vicki and Lori before Lori.
Before
then,
Lori
like-
got rich.
and that was like a movie you couldn't even write.
No.
That Lori was like taking shit from Vicki, and then suddenly married like a prince, and it would be it was comical how much money he had.
Yes.
It'd be like, here's a full stable of horses, Lori.
Loaded rich. And also, I do really miss Slade. And I love how Vicki used to call him Sklade. Do you remember that? She used to be like, Sklade.
Well, we have talked about his stand-up career on this show.
Oh, dear.
I don't know how that's going in him and Gretchen.
It's
Talk
still,
about R.I.P.
yeah,
they're still going strong, though, right?
I believe so. I think they
Okay.
need each other.
I do too. Those two dogs and her little booty shorts and like hiked up.
She would wear like booty shorts and snow boots. Like I never understood what was going on in her wardrobe.
Gretchen Christine.
Oh, we tried some of that lipstick the other
Butte.
day. Gretchen Christine Butte. It burned my lips. I also have ordered some Dr. Dubrow skincare line that is on its way.
I'm going to say one more thing about OC.
Please.
And I know we were going to wait till the end, but I feel like we're here.
Yes.
And next week, we are, for all of our listeners, going to do a very important segment concerning a roundup of all the housewives' children. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, favorites, least favorites, just on all of them.
And you might in your heart be like, oh, but they're kids. But they're not. They're on the show.
yeah, and some of them aren't. Dorinda's daughter, Gina Kehoe's son. He's 40 if he's a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's
Easily.
not forget, let's not forget, because you could remind us of some of them.
And I have heard from a source, and I'm not saying who, that Portia, Kyle and Mauricio's daughter, it's what we call in Los Angeles pilot season, when people go out for the big TV shows that'll grace your screens next year. And she is heavy into pilot season this year and really making the rotation.
Apparently, yes, a casting director said that Kyle is just sloughing her off to every single pilot she can get her a meeting with.
And I guess those improv classes are really paying off.
I guarantee Portia books more than I do.
I definitely. Portia's already had more auditions than I have.
Sure.
I'm intimidated by Portia, and I'm already like
I already know I'm going to lose a role to her.
playing her grandma.
If I see her at an audition and we go up for the same role, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, the housewives' children, my least favorite is a guy named Ryan Veith. That's Vieth, Ryan Veith. Remember, no tagging online. Ryan Veith is Tamara Barney's son, and he is a troubled soul.
Oh, yeah. He's taking all those drugs.
And when he got that tattoo on his lower lip, and she was like sobbing.
Well, who wouldn't sob? And, he's gotten involved with this woman who had 17 children from other men. And then they immediately had a baby, which I would really demand some DNA testing, because there's almost no chance that that's his child. And
I don't think it's her child or his.
just came out.
and then Tamara's whole grandma. It's
Glamour.
the whole thing is so distasteful. But he really is.
And
I
there have
think
been some pretty troubling reports in the papers.
Of what's happening.
the Daily
at that
Mail
house.
is on
And
that.
the
The Daily Mail
Radar
says
Online.
domestic abuse. And that's alleged, guys. It's
Alleged.
But I've seen those reports as well. Look, they're police reports. They're out there. They're. I think that's not alleged.
great.
If
You know,
they
and I
were-
feel bad saying that, but there's something troubled.
And his heart is going to explode soon, as the doctor said in the
yeah,
thing. Remember,
that's
don't you remember the doctor was
right.
like, your heart's going to explode. You have to stop doing steroids.
Yes.
Basically. It's not
That's right.
great.
That's when Tamara brought him over a couple IKEA plates and tried to dress up his place.
Yeah.
A few years back.
And that was behind
And then
Eddie's
he had to
back.
borrow money, and Eddie doesn't know.
No, Eddie doesn't want to support a grown man. And you know what? Eddie's right.
a grown man with multiple children.
Yeah.
700 children.
And she's
Maybe
no
800.
prize.
No, so many kids.
Moving on, guys, to Beverly Hills.
All right.
Guys, this week I felt like it was kind of a bright spot. Things happened.
I did too.
Again, I think we're getting better as the season goes on.
Leslie, what do you make of this season?
I think, look, I'm not going to lie. we need to move past Lyme and Munchausen. Like we gotta, like this is the same. And then the previews for next week, we were still going in the same circles.
I don't think there's anything else this season to talk about.
Well, that's the problem. But I mean, look, Erica Jane has been, in my opinion, the best addition to any Real Housewives franchise in the history of the show.
Yes.
I love her so dearly, but we saw some very interesting behavior tonight. And we saw some things happen that I had never seen before.
Yes.
Now, the Erica Jane, such as. Well, the Erica Jane we have seen is loud, proud, a woman in control of herself.
A cunty little snatch.
Exactly.
In her words.
Guess what? Erica Jane pays the piper, and the piper is her husband.
Yes.
Mr. Girardi.
And it was funny because the moment before the scene, which we will go into in a second with Mr. Girardi, with that weird foursome of two very old dying men and their younger wives, we were all saying how we were crushing on Mr. Girardi.
Oh, he was adorable.
Charming. I voted him outright, said I vote him hottest house husband. He charmed the pants off me. And I was like, I love this old man. I find him sexually attractive. And then the wheels came off.
Oof. He belittled her right in front of Vanderpump. And you don't do that because Lisa will flip you on your back and put you in your place.
Like
and that
an alligator, as he calls it.
And that has given her ammunition, I think. And by the way, did you notice Erica Jane, I mean, she deferred right away.
100%.
Went right down.
And the sentence that Erica tried to interject on was one in which he was complimenting Lisa's looks. Yes. So he was like, no, allow me to go back and say that this other woman sitting at the table is attractive.
Yes. It wasn't like he was making a point about like, this is something that is important and I'm trying to get my thoughts across. It was like, no, I'm just calling you attractive.
She was adding to his argument, I thought.
And I know we all say she has an alter ego, and she truly does, but she truly has almost two different lives.
Yeah.
I mean, agree. That pool party, the Beverly Pasadena Hillbillies party.
The rent boy, low rent.
The low rent gays humping those inflatable toys.
Oh, boy.
It was so...
Locky and the like.
That was so horrifically stereotypical of gay men. That would be like if you had like a party of Jews and they were like, oh, where's the looks and the bagel? Like it was so...
People would be upset.
Yes. It did feel like, here's my party boys, be in like tiny little pants and
please
prance
like
around the pool.
Hump these flamingo inflatables. Like it was just sad.
And it was weird. Like at one point when they were having the conversation about Munchausen, to see them on those swans in the back, like, kind of humping around.
I feel like they were looking off at the cameraman like, are we still supposed to be here?
They were the background dancers of that scene, literally.
Yeah. Well, the background dancers of that scene were actually Ken and Catherine's husband when they panned off of them the saddest conversation. I feel so bad for the house husbands who get into one-on-one phone booths with Ken.
I know.
It was terrible. What did he say? He was like, I like to be a competitor. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not into sport. Like, I don't like... It was something about sports, and it was just like a little one-off conversation that the editors were like, we got to stick this shit in.
We've got to put it in.
It was good.
I wish they had gone from that to Ken bouncing off the Baja shelf, but I guess
just gone back to that Baja shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, that conversation was really like the meat of the episode, if you will.
Well, it was. Just him being like, I think he was like, I'm not a fan of sports, I'm a competitor or something like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I came in on Erica Jane, which was later on in the episode, which I don't know if you want to back up to Catherine's.
We skip around.
We sort of skip.
Okay,
well, let's start with San Diego.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
right.
Her house.
Catherine's house in San Diego.
Thoughts?
Well, we were saying the house is very Orange County to me. It felt very OC. And also, you made a great point, Casey, where you were like, I feel like just because the ceilings are high, people think it's a nice house.
Thank you.
Everyone was just like, the ceilings are so high.
I feel like they were trying to find it. It's like when you do something and people like, you look like you're having fun because that's the only compliment that they can give you. That's what they were saying about her house. Your house looks like it's having fun. And basically what they were saying.
And I like how on The Housewives, we've talked about this before, they find pockets of time to film that I didn't know existed, just transitional moments, which is such as packing and now this newest one is just talking to your caterer before the big meal. And just like a quick taste test. And it's all these like filler moments that I need, every one of them.
The Jerusalem wall.
Oh.
You can put your prayers in the Jerusalem tile.
And
wall.
you explained to us, which I didn't know that, but I wouldn't know what anything is in terms of like a Jerusalem tile, that it doesn't mean it's from Jerusalem.
No,
it's
because the style looks sort of like old timey Middle Eastern,
like from the
Wailing Wall. And then
Yes.
he said you can leave a prayer in there, which was offensive to me as a Jew. Sure. And then what did she call the prayer marble? She called it
Moroccan. Oh no.
Calcutta marble. No, that's not Calcutta marble. That was Carrara marble. The whole thing was just sad.
You know your marbles, lady.
I do.
If I've learned anything about you tonight. And also you said, that marble's from San Diego, which is sad.
100%. Like that Jerusalem tile was from the Home Depot, the local Home Depot.
Yeah, again, trying to make San Diego a destination, and it's not happening.
And look, have we gotten some tweets from people who said, stop talking badly about San Diego? Yes. And I don't know that I can.
That almost challenges me to talk about San Diego more. I have to say.
Great zoo.
Also, let's talk about Eileen. There's so much.
She can't handle loose ends, Danielle. She can't handle
loose ends. But when they're all at that breakfast and everything is like peaceful, and she's like, guys, I couldn't sleep last night. I woke up thinking about who told Yolanda that we were talking about her kids.
She's so annoying. And then later when they cut to her and she was like, and we all know I don't like when things are unfinished. She just seems like she's shitting herself every time she's talking.
Constantly. She can't let anything go.
And I've noticed, we were talking about this, I have never in the history of Housewives with a show that has that little going on, when she says to Lisa Rinna in the limo, she goes, I had a big talk with Yolanda about, what you said with Munchausen's, and I thought I've never seen that scene. And then I realized they flash back to it. They don't even give her the time of day to put her scenes in. Yes. And that's probably a big scene.
I know.
And they're like, we'll just show it in flashback. It's fucking Eileen. And then later you notice that Kyle was putting on her lip gloss while she was talking to Eileen. And I think it's literally because people think, when the camera's on Eileen, it's not on us.
Yes,
they're never going to use this.
I can put on lip gloss. I can touch up my hair. I can fix my wedgie. I don't have to worry because the camera's they're not going to put this footage in.
No. Oh, Eileen. And by the way, there was hefty flashbacks. We got a lot of Kim flashbacks. We got her in the car with Rinna. I'm ornery. We got that again.
Greatest scene in the Housewives history.
Yeah, in the canon of the Housewives. That I remember back to that day, what I was doing the day that scene.
Me too.
That was that poker night. I can't even tell. It was too good.
The ride to that poker night when Kim started going off track, and it was just light enough in the first couple seconds that you're like, oh, what's up? And then you're like, what is she saying? Literally, what is she saying? And we will do a transcription of that scene.
Yeah, that scene.
Week.
We'll have that for you guys because it was beautiful and it was perfect. But also, them flashing back to it, I thought, thank you for this.
And you pointed out they flashed back to that very tough scene in the limo with Adrian, Kyle, and Kim.
Ooh,
from season 1.
Very tough. The ultimate. You are a liar. And then she says, and alcoholic. She doesn't say, and a alcoholic. You are a liar and alcoholic, which really
it was just full emotion.
Oh, so much emotion.
Remember that guy that Kim was dating then? Remember that guy?
The one, Tom Sizemore? Bobo times Sizemore?
No.
He looked like a gargoyle. Do you remember him? They were together. How can you remember this?
The one when he was just really...
Remember she...
when they went to Hawaii?
Well, that was Bobo Tom Sizemore.
That's Bobo I think you're right. Bobo Tom Sizemore.
The one who was just gray. His skin was gray.
It was gray. And he was truly terrible looking. But... we got a lot of Kim flashbacks because, of course, Kim came up at this dinner or at this lunch that Catherine was having.
And then because Lisa can't not talk about her and her involvement in it. And then Lisa, and then they were all like, well, she called me an anorexic. And then they were all like, well, we never see you eat.
Right.
Everybody just piped in. They're like, I haven't seen you. I haven't either. I haven't either. And then Lisa's like, Kim's an alcoholic.
And she went right
Lisa,
there.
what do you fucking care?
Mm-hmm. She can't. Well, she has to turn it on somebody. She has to
because she can't take it. She's got alcoholism on her side and Harry's side, and she can't stand it. It's like Eileen. Is it Eileen?
But it's I have two parents. We all, and then if someone else is talking about parents, I'm not hysterical. It's insane. And when she said it was scary behavior, it's like,
Well, Catherine called her out on that. But then, of course, Kyle had to walk away.
The best.
And then we see literally Kyle in the background of the scene, just on the couch, kind of
doing her lip gloss.
Doing her lip gloss and kind of rummaging in her purse while everyone's talking about her sister.
It was great. It was so great.
And then Catherine, of course, they were like, and anyone else have any story? And Catherine's like, well. And it was a very sad story.
It was a sad story, but it does feel
terrible story.
Spotlight on Catherine.
Yes.
It does feel like it's time for Catherine's solo now. It does feel a little bit.
It was like in the Hamptons when Elaine admitted she was an abused wife with her ex. And she was, by the way, chomping at the bit to reveal that.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, did someone mention wagons? No one had mentioned anything getting us there.
She literally has been holding it in. Remember, she was like, I've been holding this in since last season.
She was waiting for just the right time. And it was
know, I got tears in my eyes legitimately when Catherine said, I wonder if my dad would, what did she say? Would he like me?
Would he be proud of me? That was tragic.
I got
it's
tears.
not that it wasn't a sad story or that it's not tragic that it happened. All of that is true.
Yes.
But the way, I don't know if it's just the editing or the way these women get into stuff, it does feel like, oh, here's my Emmy moment. It's just the way it's done. It always feels just a little bit like jolting, coming kind of like, what?
Mm-hmm. Well, and then the scene, like a couple scenes later, where Lisa Rinna is weirdly, and they're cross-cutting between Lisa and her daughters reading poems, and Adrian and Kyle talking about Kim. You know, very sad scene again. She's pulling out poems that her sister has written, but then the worst is that she says to her daughter, she's like, I'd like to read these poems, you know, that my sister wrote, and her kids are like, okay. And her sister, and one of the daughters is like, there's a lot. Just so tough.
They have that California teenage thing where they just never close their mouths. Yeah. And so it's always kind of like, and like that kind of like and I'm sure there'll be bright, brilliant scientists one day, but right now it's not great.
Yeah.
And then also when Lisa would like, you know, stop in the middle and just be like, wow, like she was super blown away.
I felt like Lisa was just simply having trouble reading those poems.
I could not, I'm going to be honest, I could not follow any of the
Lisa's
poems.
not great at a cold read.
No. And
She was like, words.
No, not great. And also those poems were pretty shitty.
Okay,
So-
you know what, Leslie? That's where we draw the line. Someone has to draw it, and I will.
I've drawn it.
Sorry.
Wow, guys, we've hit a new low
That was
today.
tough.
And
I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's quite
take
all
it back.
right. You know, there are some other things I just want to talk about Eileen briefly, which is her wardrobe.
Oh.
We
getting
thought
worse.
the denim.
Yeah.
I thought we hit a new low with the tailored denim
that
jumpsuit
was
last
so
week, and then today it got low. I didn't think it could get lower, and then with that like
Side cutout halter beach cover up.
Yeah.
Which is what that was.
Yeah.
Right?
it was tough.
Well, it's because she went shopping with Erica
Erica
Jane,
Jane.
and so she wanted to be cool for
They
Erica
called her
Jane.
Aileen Jane, and
No.
it felt like
Eileen
it was
Jane.
or Eileen Jane. Guys. They called her
There
Eileen
were
Jane.
a lot of names that were weird. We noticed that Lisa Rinna in testimonial.
No, Lisa Vanderpump.
Lisa Vanderpump in testimonial referred to Yolanda as Jolander.
So then that's all I can refer to
She's
as
like,
now.
Jolander. Jolander is upset about Munchausen.
And it's like, you're British, but that does not excuse you from not being able to pronounce Yolanda.
No.
Jolander?
Yolanda was also at a loss for words, seeming to have a little trouble putting together a string of thoughts.
Well, also what she did, which to just like further her being so incensed, was that when she was reading the definition of Munchausen, which is that you make up sicknesses about yourself to get attention, and then went into Munchausen by proxy and then started to get real heated and very angry at Lisa. And it's like, but that's not at all what Lisa had said. And there was no mention of Munchausen by, we didn't talk about your daughter.
She's like, I'm talking about my kids. Yeah. It's like, but no, we're saying we're not talking about your kids. And I know I go into a German accent. And it's
You really
okay.
did. And I just want to say this about Jolander, that, you know, she is a stunning woman. She really is.
Stunning.
And she has birthed 3 of the most beautiful children that have ever walked the earth.
Anwar is not, I don't know.
Guess what? Give him a little more time to cook.
Okay.
Anwar, I'm telling you, in 2 years.
Tell you what, I think Gigi's, you know, like the gal. I don't even want to say girl next door, gal down the street. I mean,
Really?
yeah,
Gigi or Bella?
I like
Gigi.
Bella. Bella looks like
I
she
think
lives
Bella's
in a castle
gorgeous.
in Transylvania. I
Yes.
like her.
No, Bella's not for me. I'm like a Gigi.
wow, I would have
You're a
never
Gigi?
thought.
I'm
Gigi
Gigi.
has really intense vocal fry. She is really like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
really good at that.
You know why? Because all their vocal cords are so dry from never closing their mouths.
Yes, you're right. But the
my
thing about
theory.
Yolanda is this. So Yolanda is clearly a drop dead beautiful woman, but she this season has she is like, I'm gonna look like fucking shit. I'm not. I mean, the roots are gonna be 15 inches long.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wash my hair. I'm gonna not only not wear concealer, she definitely is putting like a little
Aggressively.
grease paint under there to like darken under the eyes. Like she really
So
is.
you
going
think
for
she's
it.
not only not wearing makeup, she's wearing makeup to look sick?
Yes.
So you don't think she has Munchausen? You think she has like a form of it with makeup?
I think she's really trying to present as deeply ill. I mean, it is shocking. Do you remember, I think, was it in the first or second episode of this season when there was a lot of like confessionals about how Yolanda showed up.
Yes, and
without
how
the
she didn't have any makeup
But I think
on.
she's really been pushing it a little far. She's really been pushing it.
Well, see, I did think she tried to turn it up a little bit with her all white, and then that green.
Yeah,
it wasn't a cape or a blazer or a coat.
It
was
looked like a
strings.
juicy sweatshirt.
But as she got more and more heated,
Yeah.
that Kelly green sweater was coming on and it was coming off. and it was a lot.
It was a lot. And she said she got it out of, I think, Gigi's closet or something, which I was just like, what is this? Like,
well, and you pointed out, she has now officially changed her name to Yolanda Hadid.
Ooh,
I love it. I love this statement of like a modern woman is like, I will no longer be my husband's name. I'll be my ex-husband's name.
I'll be my first husband's name. It was a little bit strange. What is Yolanda's real last name?
Vishkangalkin.
But it
happens to be Munchausen, which is strange.
Yolanda Munchausen.
I mean, that's just a coincidence. But there was also a sad scene with Yolanda and David where we saw them making out. Just a reminder, the way we were.
Yeah.
I feel like Yolanda's like, you guys can fucking film me when I'm saying goodbye and I'm saying hello and that's it.
I want to bring up something quickly about Bravo shows in general.
Please.
Please do.
I watch every Bravo show except for Après-Ski, that's where I draw the line. I won't do that.
I am interested in Après-Ski.
No, haven't seen it though.
I'm not even interested. It's just no.
But do you watch People's Couch?
Have you? I love People's Couch.
Are you kidding me?
I love it.
I hate People's Couch, but I realize maybe this podcast is one big long People's Couch.
I like Julie Goldman and then the other woman. I think they're very funny. I think they're cute.
Are you guys watching?
Do we hate People's Couch because we hate in others what we see in ourselves?
Exactly. And the same reason that I hate / love. What's the engagement? Newlyweds.
Oh, Newlyweds, the first year.
I'm the only person that's watched both seasons.
I love it. It's my favorite show on television.
Wow.
The Persian woman who's married to the meanest man on earth. It's the worst couple I've ever seen.
He's the worst man in America.
He's terrifying.
I have not seen this.
He's like your parents. I won't even speak to them. And she's like, they just want to know if you want to do a first dance at the wedding.
No, it's terrible. That whole show, but I will watch every minute of it. And that guy who's Paul Mooney's nephew, and they talk about that quite a bit. It's very strange. But anyway, have you noticed on Bravo shows, they always show the ordering, like they always show the waiter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they show like a long time of them looking at the menu and like,
yes.
Is the chicken salad good? You know what? I'm going to have that with an iced tea, very little ice. And I have really noticed this now. Every show, you get the full ordering. Why do they do that?
To advertise the restaurant, maybe so they can shoot there?
I don't think so. I think they're doing it. A, is just like basic filler. But B, I think they're realizing what we love about this is kind of how the women react to each other. And truly, we want to know what they're ordering. And we want to know how they like each
how
other.
The other half lives. How
I
the
think
rich
you're right.
I think so. I think it's like this weird thing that I am curious.
But it's a thing. I mean, that is a very conscious
the same way we watch
decision.
them pack.
It's a trope.
We talked about this on the show. We
pack.
always pack. We love to watch them. It relaxes us. We've spoken about that many times.
Eileen, I felt like, last thing I'll say about her, it was very sad in the big heated scene where everyone was yelling at each other because I wrote down the following things and there were more. I just simply couldn't type fast enough. But finally, we have some moment of action happening. Erica Jane is fucking slamming Lisa Rinna.
Finally.
And I thought she was right to say, then tell us who said that. You know, if you're going to say someone's calling someone this, tell us. And then Eileen keeps trying to pop in and please go back and listen. She just is popping and you can barely hear her. She's like, well, Yolanda's not with us a lot. And then later she's like, I think what we're saying is we love you unconditionally, yo. And then later she's like in testimonial, it's not a black and white issue, it's gray. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Eileen. And then later she's like, who wants to hug it out? Why don't we start from here, guys? And everyone's like, shut up.
She does sort of make them hug. I don't know how Eileen made anyone do anything, but they succumb in that moment and they do hug, and it's so awkward because they're not done with the fight yet. So there's still this awkward tense, and Eileen's like, oh, why don't we hug it? And you're like, ugh, so angry, like all this like unresolved
and
stuff.
The last line of the episode, and I act like it's been scripted, but when Lisa Rinna is hugging Yolanda and she looks so phony to me, I'm so done with Lisa Rinna.
Me too. And I'm sad to say, because I have a love for her, but
I thought she was great last season.
I know.
Last season she was wonderful.
But this season, we talk on and on about it, but it gets worse by the episode of just how desperate and hungry she seems. And she's literally hungry because she's very thin. So
she's hustling.
She's hustling. She's hungry, literally.
She waxed her ass. On camera.
Well, I will say,
great point.
We've seen Sonia do that as well. We've watched Sonia,
but Sonia doesn't even know
what's happening.
Drunk. She has no idea. I mean, Lisa, it's so calculated and it's so. It was tough. I just want to say quickly about Eileen. She is the human embodiment of her home.
Yes.
And I wish I had the words to properly explain what her home makes me feel like, but it makes me feel hot and like
dry,
like an antique doll. But do you get what I mean? I can't explain it. The drapes.
It makes me feel claustrophobic. There's so much shit in that house, and like tchotchkes and curtains
and ghosts of old people. I see the centuries that have lived there.
But there's like a waiter, like there, you know those like guys they have in the kitchen where it's like an Italian waiter, and it's like you can put the menu on as, you know, like just ugh.
Yeah, it's
sorry. I had to talk about that house. I love when Brandy talks shit about her house before. That was so great.
Oh well, she said. What did she say again? It's
your
scary.
House is gross. She basically something like that. Oh, when she pushed Kyle. I'm sorry. I know we keep going back to old episodes. It's one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
That was shocking.
And that did happen at Eileen's house, and like Vincent peeking out of the garage,
like a dusty ghost,
like a dusty ghost, and then Kim being like, "I dropped my pizza."
Oh God, it was so good.
We did talk about the Richards voices. Now talk about vocal fry. Those Richards, when Kyle starts to cry,
I love it.
It's just like
with the napkin immediately up to the eyes.
Yes, like she's
that's like, I'm obsessed with the Kardashians crying. Have you ever seen it? They all do the same thing, which is they take one pointer finger and just dab it in between the eyes and under. It's like they can't even allow one tear to fall, or I don't know what's gonna happen. Joyce Bonelli is gonna have to come out and do their makeup again. But I will say Kyle is driving me crazy. Like, I feel like Kyle used to have a little more energy for trying to be comedic, and she thinks that she's so funny. And this week, when she didn't really put a lot behind her big laugh line, in which she said Erica Jane's party was like a circus of butts. It was just so...
Yeah, she sort of phoned that one in a little bit.
Give it a little more.
She didn't give it the Richard spin, the Big Kath spin. Like when Big Kath used to say, like, do your splits, Kyle, or whatever.
Oh, God, that's true.
She didn't turn on the kind of like...
When she said, everything's coming up roses, Kyle.
Do you think that we will get to the core trauma that happened to the Richard sisters? Like, was it just the mother? Or what? And by the way, do we ever talk about the dad? Has he ever come up even once?
Dads.
Oh, do they have different dads?
Casey has finished House of Hilton.
I finished it.
Wait, does Kathy have different dad than Kim and Kyle?
Kathy's dad is a man.
This is new to me. Wait a minute. This is a big deal. You have revealed new information.
Little Kathy Hilton was conceived in a car. Big Kathy was 17, I believe. Oh. And then years later, a man named like Richard Avanzano gave birth to the Richard sisters.
Which, did she ever marry that man?
Yes. I believe she married him, and then this is Big Kathy.
Yeah.
Big Kathy never married like well-off men, but she demanded that her daughters.
Well, let me ask, they never speak of their father.
Never.
They only speak of their mother, and my mother, and on her deathbed.
Yes.
But the father has been like banished from their thoughts.
Palm Springs. There is a core
Palm
trauma.
Springs house.
It's all about the mother.
Do you know what happened in that Palm Springs house?
I don't.
The history of that. If we can find out that, if anybody knows,
please, I'd love to set up a hotline.
Yes. I mean, there is a deep core trauma, and I need to get some info on that. They're never going to talk. But I love now that Kyle isn't talking to... I love Kathy and Kyle not speaking anymore. I love the whole thing.
I need to sit down, and I've said it before. Andy, Kath, Kim, Kyle.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Will that happen?
Let's skip the reunion. We don't have enough for 3 parts.
I agree.
Andy, if you're
Remember
listening,
when he did that weird ass reunion when it was just like, he's like, I'm sitting down with Kim and Kyle.
When she was fresh out of rehab, so she was fragile.
And it was powerful.
That was I watched that like
on the edge of my seat.
Oh my God.
It was like watching OJ's Bronco speed down the highway. Guys, I mean, I don't know what to say, but we need to wrap it up. Leslie, are there any final thoughts?
Well, first of all, my mind is blown that Kathy and Kim and Kyle don't have the same father.
I think it was revealed on this podcast as well. Did I reveal it? I think to you.
Yes, I think you revealed it.
I mean, not to brag.
No, I mean,
but I think it was tweeted
it's a humble
at me.
brag.
It's a humble brag, but it was tweeted at me.
Yeah.
I want to say in general that it was hard to see a chink in Erica Jane's armor, and to see that really, she does have to defer.
Pay the piper.
She does. And I see in the previews for next week.
Pay the Girardi.
We're still going in the Munchausen, Lime circle. And I'm really hoping that we get to the bottom of that and we can move on and get to something bigger and better. But all in all, I liked it. And I liked the circus party. And the
circus party of butts?
Yeah, I liked the party of butts. I was happy with this episode.
And we're gonna get Gerlander is coming out of the dark. It seems.
Oh yeah, she's kind of coming back.
Yeah, Yo's back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Yo Hadid is back. Guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for
to
having
our
me.
guest.
Yes,
Leslie,
thank you.
you're amazing.
So excited
And
to have you
I
here.
just want to engage with everybody about the Housewives. And by the way, I'll do Potomac. I'll do anything. So let's just get into it.
Okay, great.
Thank
Will
you
you
for
do
having
Washington,
me.
D.C. in the past?
I watched every second of that.
So did I. And I had a lot to say about Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah. You were a real Salahi sympathizer, Itzy.
When Salahi left Salahi, I was like, oh boy. If anyone wants to just look up something mind-blowing, see who Michelle Salahi is dating now. Okay,
the greatest.
Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Hey, Earwolf listeners, this is Hillary Frank from The Longest Shortest Time. On our show, we talk to parents.
I just put sex on the list of things that I have to do that day as soon as the baby goes to sleep.
We talk to kids.
Sex in a boat, sex in a wolf, sex in Jupiter.
And we talk about how those kids were made in the first place.
I'm pulling down his pants, hurry up, just do it.
The Longest Shortest Time. It's a family show for grown-ups. Listen at longestshortesttime.com, earwolf.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Ackerman, Adam Sachs, and Chris Bannon. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.